Hi, I'm Janina and this is Janinagans. Today I am going to be working on restoring this American Girl doll. I got her as a gift from someone because she's a little bit damaged. They didn't want her anymore. Her leg came off. Kirsten's one of the original American Girl dolls. They introduced her in 1986. She is marked on her neck as being from the Pleasant Company. This is how you can tell she's a vintage doll. She's not original because her torso is beige, and those dolls, I believe, had a white torso. Her eyes would also date her, I guess, for early 90s. There's something about the irises being smaller and there's more white to the eyes, which means that she's probably from the early 90s. She's actually wearing the sweater that my great-grandmother knit for me when I was a kid, and it fits her pretty well, so I thought that was really cute. I'm really excited to see what we could do with her. First step is going to be to completely take off her limbs and take out the stuffing from her gut so we can get everything nice and clean. We're ready for surgery. Scalpel. Just going to gently pull her leg out. Oh, that looks like it's in really rough shape. We're just going to sever the tendon gently. That came right off. Wow. So what's in here now? We have this tension cup. This is from the leg that came off. A tension cup and a piece of cord still in here, so we'll get that out in a minute. For now, let's proceed with removing the rest of the limbs. We will proceed with the removal of the head. So there's just a string attaching the neck to the body. So we're just gonna untie that. It's a pretty intense knot that's in here. Trying to avoid having to do an entire new string. Here we go. We are loose. There she is. So we're going to get all of the stuffing out right now. They put a lot in there. Waste bag. Wow. Oh, there's another tension cup. There's the other bungee. So I already took this much out. She's still pretty filled. The reason we have to take this out is in order to get the new bungees back in, we need access to the torso. And I also want to wash this. Look at all those gits. I think that's everything. Okay. So we got to get the 3 of those out of here. The easiest thing is to heat around the limbs a little bit, and then we'll yank out that tension cup. Hair dryer. Pliers. I kind of have to angle it down so that I can see. There it is. Ooh. Should make an instrument next time. All right, so heating for about 30 to 45 seconds seems to do the trick. Now we're almost done with the surgery. We just have one last thing to do. Her right arm was chewed up by someone sometime. So we're gonna need a new arm. And to do that, we have a very special guest patient who has agreed to donate her right arm. Patient, please. This is an American Girl, not a Pleasant Company. She's much more recent, and I purchased her at the thrift store a little bit ago. we're gonna try to take this arm off. This one's definitely not disintegrated like the other one, so it's a little harder. Oh my god, she's bleeding. Got it. Alright, let's get out of surgery and move on to hair washing. We successfully removed all of her limbs, and I went ahead and taped her eyeballs shut because the next step is going to be washing her hair, and I want to make sure we don't get any water into her eyes, which I have read can cause them to get cloudy, and we just don't want any of that. We're going to go ahead and brush out her hair before we wash it. For the hair restoration, I looked up several different guides from different people that have done this successfully, so I will link those below. This is kind of a combination of all of those sources, and I read that you should use a wire brush when you're brushing your doll's hair because this is plastic, so if you're using the wrong type of brush, it can pull the different strands too far and warp them and make it look horrible. So wire brush. We're gonna start at the tips of her hair, which definitely look the worst right now. So let me show you a close up of that. All things considered, her hair is not really in that bad condition. I mean, if you think about her being from the early 90s, this doll is 30 plus years old, probably more like 35. It's getting so frizzy. And it's normal for there to be shorter hairs in between. I actually thought maybe whoever had her before me cut her, but this is normal. They did this to fill in the hair and give it a more full look. Okay. I am going to fill this tub with some warm water, and then we'll give her a nice wash with some dish soap. And I know there's a thing people do called a Downy dunk, but according to the blogs that I read, it's a no-no. Don't use Downy. I guess it permanently stays in the hair and kind of changes the texture, so we're gonna use dish soap for this. Got my bucket of warm water, and go ahead and dunk her hair in here and get it wet. And I'm not gonna get any water in the hole down here or in her eyes. Getting the bangs is definitely the hardest part because they're really laying over the eyes. So I'm gonna try to get those wet too. I think it's probably going to be best if I go rinse her off in the sink really quickly because that's a lot of soap now that I have in here. So I got everything pretty well rinsed out, and the next step, which is also probably the most crucial one of this, is to boil some water. So I have my water heater and I'm going to go ahead and boil that. So I poured the water into the container and it's been about 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead, dunk her hair for a few seconds, pull it out, dunk it, pull it out, and we'll see if it actually does anything. I'm gonna see if I can get her bangs in there a little bit. We're done with all the water, and her hair, I noticed, dries really fast. So I'm gonna try to get it brushed before it dries. I'm gonna need an extra hand. Thanks, hand. Got some blood on you, huh, hand? So I've brushed this first layer out. I have a flat iron where you can set the temperature. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it to the lowest setting, which is 160. It's just gonna make it a little bit smoother and silkier. And I'm really gonna go over the ends, which I think I'm gonna have to trim a little bit anyway. I'm going to take a little spray bottle of water because it's getting quite dry. Cover her eyes. Give that a little spritz. And then we're going to take the toothbrush. Just get that down. So I think I'm going to raise the temperature a little bit on this and maybe let's go to 180. I'm just going to try the ends a little bit because they're really frizzy. Wanted to see what that felt like. I think that's working. That looks a lot better already.
Should I get the thermal cam and we can measure the temperature?
Of what?
Of your iron?
It says 180.
Yeah, but what if it's wrong?
You're saying you want to see if it's accurate?
I can... Looks like 180 on the hottest point.
That is exactly what it's set to.
Can I see the other side? 170.
Ooh.
So the side with the display is hotter.
Interesting. All right, now hold out your hand. I want to do it so bad. When you buy Kirsten, she comes with 2 braids in her hair that are swooped under. And when you undo the braids, there's a little bit of a wave. So since her hair is still a little wet, I'm going to go ahead and braid it like that and let it dry in a braid, so then we'll get that natural occurring wave that she normally has, just to be extra authentic. She looks so good already. I'm going to go ahead and let her dry overnight and come back tomorrow. Okay, her hair is all dry. It's looking really silky. I like the bangs. And I'm gonna set her aside for a second. I also already washed her body. What I did is I just put it in one of these laundry bags and threw it in with my laundry in the wash. I let it air dry, but I also realized that you can stick a hairdryer through the head hole, and it very effectively and very quickly dried it. I did that for maybe 2 minutes and it's perfectly dry, really clean. There was a little stain on here that came out in the wash. And I also noticed that there is a Pleasant Company tag on the torso as well. Now I just have to clean off the limbs. There's some minor dirt on there that I think will be pretty easy to get off with an alcohol wipe. So I'm going to try to avoid dunking this in the water and soaping it up because it's going to be hard not to get the water in the holes. I don't want it to get caught inside and then potentially mold. So to start, I will use some simple alcohol wipes. It's working really well. This is the new hand, so they are a little bit different in skin color. It's so minor though, I don't think it's gonna be noticeable at all. All of the limbs have been wiped with the alcohol. There's a couple of little spots that didn't quite come off. It's really minor. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in for a little touch-up scrub with the Magic Eraser. Came right off. That is not coming off as easily. Let's just call it a freckle. Limbs are clean. We are ready to restring the doll. I've got my tension cups here. This one is from the new doll, and this is from the old doll. So a little bit transparent on the old one and white on the new one. The other tools we'll need for this part is some shock cord and some crimp sleeves. And my tool for the crimping. I'm just gonna cut 6 inches. I'm gonna tie a little knot on one end. And then I will need one of my crimp sleeves. Thread that through. This is what that looks like. This is a crimping tool that we have. Makes it a little bit easier. Just gonna pull it so it's right against that knot. Perfect. Looks pretty good. And then we're gonna take the tension cup, we're gonna put it convex, side down, like this. Now we can put this inside the first limb, and this is a little bit difficult because we have to fit this in here. I'm just gonna soften this a little bit. You can feel it really soften up. I mean, I don't know if you can see the squish level there. We're gonna thread this through. Okay, hold that. Oh, super easy. Hold the bungee so that you don't lose that, and you can see, got it in there now, facing the correct direction. And then we're gonna feed that bungee through this hole and reach through her neck hole all the way. Okay, that looks like. Take another tension cup. It's gonna go this way. And then adding the crimp. It's gonna be hard to see, so I'm just gonna show you. I've got the crimp right over the tension cup, and I'm just gonna pull this and make sure it stays down. Now we have these loose ends inside, and I'm just gonna knot those and then cut off the excess. Same with the other side. Okay. Whew, legs are done. 2 more to go. Limbs are back on. To help me get all of the stuffing back into her little torso, I'm going to use one of these seam turning tools just to stuff that in. Just going to make sure it's kind of getting into the arm joints here, and they're holding really nicely. Oh my god, she can stand? Before I reattach her head, I need to wipe it down with some alcohol, and her eyes actually have a little bit of crud on them too, if you look here. So I'm gonna take a little Q-tip, or just a Q-tip. It's not particularly little. Dabbed in alcohol. Ooh, that's very wet. And then I'm just gonna go over her eyes. Try to get that crud off. Oh my god. So satisfying. Okay, look at that. No more cruddy eyes. If you're having trouble with your doll's eyes opening and closing, you can spray it out with some canned air and get the dust out and it'll probably fix it. She's not having that issue, so I'm just gonna leave them alone right now. I'm gonna give her a quick alcohol wipe down on her face, and then we'll be ready to reattach her head to her body. This doll has her ears pierced. Super cute. I just gotta orient those little hearts. This is the moment. I'm gonna put her back on her torso. We're just gonna put this part inside the neck hole. Sit her in there. And it was just a double knot that was in here. I have a doll. She still needs a little bit of a hair trim, so I'm gonna work on that. I'm just cutting the real obvious stragglers. Pretty good. So her outfit that I got is from 1986. At least that's what the box says. And then what doll of mine would be complete without pizza? And this is really cool because it's the Book It pizza set. As a kid, I had Book It in school and took it very seriously. So pizza and books, I mean, come on. Oh my god. Oh, this is so cute. I can't. This is, oh my gosh. She's got a little sweatband. Little leg warmers. Okay. Yes, it took the curl. I'm very happy to see that. Here's her hair. Looks pretty smooth. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. She looks so good. We'll take a look at these ends a little. Here's where we're at. So the ends are definitely the most frizzy, but overall, I mean, 30 years old, and this is her hair. I think she looks fantastic. All in all, this was a really cheap project for me since I got the doll for free. I think I probably spent less than $50, which was only the outfits. And it took probably a total of 3 to 4 hours. Now, I definitely want to do something with this doll. I think I'm gonna go eat some well-earned pizza, and I hope you will subscribe for more videos. I've got some really exciting ideas coming up, especially for this doll. And if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.